Good evening. I'm Pete Graham and fulfil the role as a Chief Petty Officer Marine Technician in the Royal Australian Navy and have done for the past 18 years here in the Cairns locality, being posted to sea positions 16 of those years. During that time I was placed on deployments for 2 to 3 months at a time with 3 to 4 week periods back in port. Whilst alongside I was required to work long hours to ensure the platform was in a state of readiness for the next deployment. As one might imagine, my wife Nicole was husbandless and my children fatherless for those periods. This is where families become either very reliant on extended families, should they live in the locality, or learn to fend for themselves due to living away from family support such as ours. Our saving grace were the long-term friends we established early on, which were met through my son Isaac, starting school here at St Andrews in prep, and both my daughters, Macy and Shanoa, also being schooled here. Absolutely valuable. Given my extensive absence, when I was home, the time spent with Nick, either on a dinner date or cafe breakfast alone, were always a priority. The feelings of a fresh or new relationship were felt by both of us and had a musing about it each time I stepped from the ship to the wharf where Nick would be waiting. As for the kids, well, I made sure I attended school days, assemblies and reflaying ceremonies when deployments allowed. Dance concerts, which I absolutely love, regardless of the grunts and groans I make getting ready on the night of attendance, are always popular. Now martial arts gradings for all 4 of them have been a favourite in recent times. However, it's not all been plain sailing whilst home. It took both my family about a week to adjust to having me home and about the same time for me to adjust to not having control of the TV remote, my favourite seat on the lounge, and the feeling the dog had more authority than me in the household. But these were easy fixes. It's the big things I missed due to work commitments or my personal doggedness that hurt. Things that all the money in the world can't buy. Events like missing the birth of Macy, and to this day I kick myself for. Sat phone calls immediately after the arrival of a newborn in the middle of the big blue ocean just doesn't cut it. First day of school meet and greets, birthdays and wedding anniversaries, all suffered at some point. There'll be others, was a justification I would whisper to myself when sailing out of the leads of Cairns, heading to board illegal fishing vessels or to assist boat people in rough seas. Fortunately, there will be others, and these, now I'm posted ashore for the next 18 months, will be revered with fair gusto. I have some family time to make up, and by doing these sorts of functions helps mend some ties. This allows my children and my wife to hear my drafted thoughts, rather than leaving them wondering if a man who can leave his family for such long periods has any regrets or feels a little remorseful about his absence. Well, I do. Thank you very much.